A very good evening to all my dear students. I welcome you on behalf of ICAI for the second session of Chapter 11 that we have started, Companies Incorporated Outside India. A very warm welcome to all of you. Tej Parekh, Chauhan, good evening. Rajveer Ray, good evening. All right, Asta Sethi, I'll be answering your question, and this is one of question which is coming in revision as well. Krishan Shri, Soumya, Anubhav, all of you, Almaz, Divya, very good evening to all of you, Judy Kumari. All right, so I hope you have revised. Yes, Shagufta. Okay, Shagufta, we will be doing section 380 and 381 today. So all your doubts will get clear. So I hope you have revised what we have done in the previous session. That is how a company incorporated outside India, what is the definition of foreign companies, how it is different from body corporate. After that, we had a discussion on section 379 talking about the applicability. Okay. Yes, Asta Sethi, absolutely. Even if companies are incorporated outside India and just offering and accepting deposits inside India, it will be considered as foreign company. So we will have a revision of this and you will understand. Similar. Wherein we did they had it to clarify the concept related to what is a foreign company. So now how the revision happens, you will be answering the questions and I'm going to ask you the questions. So if there is a company which is incorporated in USA and at the same time it has opened up an office in Delhi, but it is not doing any business activity in India, it has just opened up a place of business. Can we say it is a foreign company? Yes or no? Absolutely correct. So no is the correct answer. Good. Asta Sethi, Soumya, Yash, Almas, all of you. That means you have revised your concept well. Julie Kumari, Kushishri, very good because it's not doing a business activity. Good evening, Mr. Pavan Kumar. We have just started the session and we are doing a revision of what we have done in the previous class. Mohammed Farhan, good answer. Shagufta, correct. So, and if I say that company in USA has opened up the office in Delhi and it's doing online business, or it has not opened any place of business, but it is doing through electronic mode a business activity in India, then can we say it's a foreign company? All your Hotstar, Netflix, which don't have an office in India, but they're doing some business activity, then yes, it is a foreign company. Very good, John. So then we did the definition of electronic mode in detail. It was discussed, out of which I'm going to answer the questions. One query Asta has raised, if anyone is having an electronic mode, I told you whether the main server is here or not, then also you become a foreign company. If you're doing B2B transactions or you're doing B2C transactions or data entry. Offering or accepting deposits or inviting deposits from the citizens of India, even if you're doing any business activity and you're accepting the deposits, then yes, you become a foreign company. If you are having an office in Russia and you're not having any place of business in India, but through telephone, you provide any consultancy or any marketing or any commuting business or any education services you're providing in India through phone, will it be considered as a foreign company? Yes, very good, because it is covered under the definition of electronic. I hope, Asta, your query you now got answered that you have asked. So any kind of financial settlements, if you are doing any kind of web-based designing, marketing you're doing, it will be considered as a foreign company. All related data communication services, everything that you do is foreign company. There was one exemption which does not fall under the definition of foreign company. Who can tell me that exemption? If I have opened up the company office in India in IFSC unit, International Financial Services Center, which is covered under Special Economic Zone, will that company considered as foreign company? No, ma'am, because any SEZ unit company will not be considered as foreign company. Very nice. So excellent, children. You have really answered very well. So let's have the last question revision also. So we have discussed 379 just tells you that what all sections are applicable in case of foreign companies, section 380 to 386, which we are going to discuss in detail today. 392 and 393 will also apply to foreign companies. However, we did one more important section 379 tells you two things. One is the applicability of section. Another thing is what is the requirement of paid up share capital? What happens if any Indian citizen or a body corporate, which is an Indian company, or together one or more companies an Indian citizen, if they are holding more than 50% of the paid up share capital. So here is my question to the class. There was a company, ABC LLC, which is a foreign company, and it is opened up in USA. It is incorporated in USA, and it has a place of office in Pune. Can we say it's a foreign company? And it is doing business activity. Yes, it is a foreign company. Absolutely correct. Now, the Indian citizen, Mr. A, is holding more than 50% of the share capital, preference share capital. More than. So, can we say equity and preference both? Yes, ma'am. Equity and preference both needs to be considered, whether it is equity or preference or partly equity preference, anything if he is holding. So, more than 50% of the preference share also if he is holding, he will be considered as an Indian citizen holding more than 50% of the paid up share capital. Then what will happen? Then what will happen? Shugupta says it will be treated as Indian company. What will be treated as Indian company? Mohammed Farhan also says. Chapter 22 will be complied. Very good, Rajveer Ray, Julie Kumar. Then all the provisions of chapter 22 and other provisions will be applicable to this Indian business operations. So Pune mein company, the one which is operating in Pune, with regard to business operations carried on in Pune will be regarded as if it is a company incorporated in India. Yes, whole of the companies act. Very good. Indian operations will be considered as Indian company. Absolutely correct. Clear? Everybody has understood? All right. Is it clear? So everyone has answered it correctly. So well done, students. So this is a very important question. Can authorized representative declare the arbit? Asta Sethi, you are moving ahead. We are yet to discuss about authorized representative. So wait. So these kind of questions, children, generally come in the exam. The one which we have just had a quick revision and recap. Now let's move forward to section 380. What are the documents to be delivered to the registrar? I think we have discussed about section 380 also. So we started about section 380 in which I told you that if there is a company which is incorporated in USA and you are opening up an office in Pune, then we have to get our documents registered with the ROC. So I will go to Pune ROC, right? If I'm a foreign company and I've opened up Harshita, very good. No, ma'am, we will go to Delhi ROC. Excellent. Everybody has answered it correctly. So we always get our registration done at the New Delhi ROC. If any foreign company is coming in India for the first time, wherever you're coming, whether Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Bombay, Pune, anywhere, you have to get yourself registered at Delhi ROC. And what are the documents to be given? MOA, AOA, full address of the registered office, director's list, secretary, everything. And here was the important person, authorized representative. Now let me read what was the query related to authorized representative. Can he declare that RBI approval is not required? Okay, we will discuss about this. But I told you, Asta, whenever a foreign company is coming up in India, then you have to comply with certain FEMA regulations, which you will be doing in further chapters, and RBI approval is required. Okay. What are the cases when it is not required? That is a separate story, which you will be covering under FEMA. Ma'am, thoda Hindi में भी बोलिए. ओके पवन कुमार, वट एवर यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। हिंदी में मैं रिपीट करने की कोशिश करती हूँ, बट सारा लेक्चर हिंदी में नहीं हो सकता। ओके आपको कुछ ना समझ आए तो आप पूछ सकते हैं। डायरेक्टर्स एंड हु इज इंडियन और आउटसाइड इंडिया। यस मिस्टर चौहान, आर यू आस्किंग समथिंग? Yes, all the directors, yes, yes, inside India or outside India, all their names have to be given. List of all the directors and secretary, whether they're in India or outside India. Your names, father's name, address, everything has to be given. Then the principal place of business in India. Then who was this authorized representative? Can anyone tell me about this authorized representative? He has to be a person who is a resident in India. Can it be only one authorized representative? We can have one or more authorized representative. Also, he should be a resident in India. And why do we appoint any? No, Rajveer says no. Why no? We can have more than one also, na? Okay. So you mean to say no for only one. All right. All right. So he has to be a person who is resident in India, and whatever documents needs to be served to the foreign company will be given to this authorized representative. Suppose I have appointed Mr. Ram as the authorized representative of my company. Now, any registrar or anybody else, income tax department wants to send a notice, and this is the company which is operating in USA. So can I say that if the notice has been received by Ram, that means ABC LLC, which is in USA, has got this notice? Yes or no? Yes, it has got, because once it has been given to the authorized representative, it will be assumed that the notice has been served to the company. Clear, children? Particulars of opening and closing place of business in India. All this information is given in what form number? What is the form number in which all this documentation under 380 needs to be registered? FC1. Excellent. And within how many days it has to be given? Within 30 days of opening up the office in India. If any name of directors or secretary or address has been changed, means any alteration has been made, then which form has to be given? FC2. Very good. And FC2 also needs to be given when? Within 60 days or 30 days of the change? Within 30 days of the change. Excellent. So here comes the application will be supported along with the attested copy of Reserve Bank of India. Approval has to be taken from RBI and FEMA approval. I told you, if you have established a place of business in India, you have to take a declaration from the authorized representative that no approval is required. So only if the authorized representative says that, okay, in this place of business, if you're opening and there is no need of approval, then you have to attach his approval along with these things. Okay. So other than that, RBI's approval and FEMA regulations have to be complete. And if the foreign company does not have a particular place of business, then what does it need to do? It needs to give a notice to the registrar that now we are not having this particular place of business. Clear? Now let's move to the accounts of foreign company. Everybody has answered very nicely. FC1, FC2 and 30 days. That was correct. Now today we are also going to understand about FC3 and FC4. So only total 4 forms we have in this chapter. So they're very easy. We can learn the name of the forms along the chapter. Every foreign company will make out the, what is the accounts of companies? Remember your chapter MGT we did? Management and administration. After that, we did chapter number 9 and 10. Accounts of companies and audit and auditors. What did you do in accounts of companies? We make a balance sheet, we make a P&L account, and it needs to be filed to the ROC. Every year, a foreign company in every calendar year is going to make a balance sheet and profit and loss account. The same way that you make company, which is a foreign company, also needs to make a P&L and balance sheet in such a form and containing the particulars which are to be attached to this document. And it will deliver the copy of this to the registrar. Is that clear? Yes, Shagufta, what are you asking? What is your query? Can you explain 380 point C? Which point C are you asking? Point 2, 381, we are starting now. 380 point C. Which one point? Do you want me to open study material, Shagufta? Okay, let me open the module and then we will see your. Meanwhile, anybody else having a doubt till here, because we'll be proceeding further ahead in the chapter. Yes, tell me the page number. Yes, Asta, then it is not required. If you're having another place of business, then you don't need to give it. That's it. 11.5. A list of directors. What is the problem over here? It is simply telling you that you have to give the name and director's address, everything, the name, former name, surname, father's name, date of birth. These सारी details आपने देनी है of all the directors and secretary that you have appointed. Okay, by whatever form shall contain all the particulars. I think I remember showing you the FC1 form also. Okay, Shagufta, is it clear now? In relation to the nature, obviously in relation to the nature of foreign company, जो भी आपके directors हैं इस company में. Okay, natures of particulars provided as above. Company's rules provide that list of directors. Just giving you mere information. You simply have to remember list of directors and circulars containing all these details. Okay. It's just the legal language that they have written, that the list has been given in the rules registration of related to this matter means इससे related जो बात है वो rules में लिखी. Okay, बच्चा, clear? So what are the documents we need to be this we have done? Accounts of the companies. So foreign company will prepare a balance sheet and P&L and deliver a copy to the registrar. After that, the central government has the power to direct for, I remember we have done this point also, that foreign company, central government can apply CFS ke liye consolidated financial statements if they want to give any exemptions and modifications. Remember, if you're following a different financial year, if I'm a foreign company and I have a consolidated financial statements to be prepared, I can take the power from central government request that any different financial year to be applied, CG can request. If any of the documents are not in English language, so I have opened up the foreign company in Russia and my balance sheet that I've prepared is in Russian language, then I need to give a certified copy of the English language copy also attached. Why do you think you need to give a certified copy of English language? Okay, thank you, Dhanush, for reminding us that we have discussed this point. That's great. So now tell me, why do we need the English copy? Because ROC does not know any French, Russian languages or Chinese language. That's why whenever you're depositing any copy over here, it is mandatory. Like MOA and AO की आपने certified copy दी थी, translated copy English में. यहाँ पे भी आप balance sheet and P&L की certified copy देंगे if it is not in English language. If it's in US or UK and you're using the same English, which is understandable over here, then you don't need to give a certified. But if it's any other language which is not in English, then a certified translation copy of the English language is also to be given. And if you had office earlier in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Mohali, Punjab, Chandigarh, Ludhiana, but now you have changed your business. You have opened up more offices in Amritsar, in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu, Chennai. So now you need to give all the list of businesses that the foreign company has opened up on the date of balance sheet. And this is given in which form? FC3 form. It gives all the list of business that we have opened up in India. Yes, Asta, along with that copy, you have to give a certified translation. Okay. Further in the chapter, we'll be learning how the certification happens, how it is certified. Is that clear, everyone? Then foreign company will prepare its financial statements as per which schedule? Schedule 3 or whatever possible for each financial year. So for its Indian business operations, it will be following schedule 3. All the documents that are required to be attached should be according to the chapter 9 of accounts of companies. So now the interesting part of this chapter starts. Although we try to tell you that only section 380, 381, 392, 393 are applicable to the foreign company. But slowly you will understand कि जो Indian operations हैं, उसको ये chapter 9 भी apply कर दिया accounts of companies. चैप्टर 9 कौन से चैप्टर का चैप्टर 9? कंपनीज एक्ट का चैप्टर 9 क्या था? फ्लिप योर पेजेस बैक एंड सी व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द चैप्टर नंबर 9 ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट. इट इज अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज. तो सब कुछ जो अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज में पढ़ा था फॉरेन कंपनी को भी म्यूचेटिस म्यूटेंडिस एप्लीकेबल. सो कहने को 380 381 अप्लाई है, but documents which were to be annexed as per accounts of companies, he's saying that we are not explaining you here what is accounts of companies. You know you have done accounts of companies. वो documents यहाँ भी चिपका. ठीक है. सो कहने को सिर्फ वही एप्लीकेबल है, बट अभी today you will understand that no vernacular language, Priyanshi, they are talking about that outside language, that is vernacular only in that case. Like I told you, Russian language, then you need a translated copy. Clear? Everyone is clear? So we need to prepare accounts as per Schedule 3 and all the documents of accounts of companies to be given. Mr. Chauhan Tej is saying, ma'am, FC3 हिंदी में समझा दीजिए. बेटा FC3 फॉर्म का मतलब है कि जो भी आपने बिजनेस प्लेसेस चेंज करी हैं भारत में और खोले ऑफिसेज, आपने अमृतसर, पंजाब, लुधियाना में खोले, कुछ ऑफिसेज आपने बंद कर दिए, तो जो भी आपकी लिस्ट है बिजनेस की लास्ट डेट ऑफ बैलेंस शीट में, वो भी आपने आरओसी को देनी है. कौन से फॉर्म में देनी है? FC3 में. तो FC1 में मैंने 380 सेक्शन के सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स देने हैं, एमओए, एओए, लिस्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, सेक्रेटरी, एवरीथिंग. कोई चेंज होता है, अगर ऑल्टरेशन होता है, ऑल्टरेशन मतलब बदलाव आ रहा है, किसी डायरेक्टर का नाम बदला है, कुछ भी एड्रेस बदला है, तो FC2 में देना है. FC3 में सारे बिजनेसेस जो मेरे बैलेंस शीट डेट पे एग्जिस्ट करते हैं वो मैंने FC3 में. Anil Golti is asking, in case the resident Indian holds more than 50% of the shares, company did not follow the specific act, right? They can. Who told you that you're not going to follow this act? They said that if you're holding more than 50% of the shares, then Indian operations, जैसे मैंने पुणे में ऑफिस खोला था, तो Indian operations को Indian company treat करा जाएगा और सारा का सारा companies act applicable. This act is applicable anyways because it's a foreign company. Additionally applicable होगा Mr. Golti Anil for the Indian operations. Yes, Chauhan, whatever details, पुराना अगर है ऑफिस तो उसका भी देंगे, नहीं तो सिर्फ जो लेटेस्ट बिजनेस है, जो जो ऑफिसेस हैं उनकी लिस्ट देंगे FC3. Yes, Asta, at on the every balance sheet. All right, thank you, Anil. Okay, let's move ahead. So consolidated financial statements, I'm not going to explain you. We have already discussed about CFS. Yes, here we left the point. Every foreign company, along with the financial statements, so financial statements सबको समझ आ गया, बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट देना है, CFS की बात कर चुके हैं, शेड्यूल 3 के अकॉर्डिंग होना चाहिए, एंड अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज में जो भी पढ़ा है चैप्टर 9 सारे डॉक्यूमेंट देने हैं आपसे. अदर लैंग्वेज में है तो ट्रांसलेटेड कॉपी देनी है. कौन सी लैंग्वेज में? इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज. हिंदी में तो नहीं देना, जल्दी बता दो मुझे यस और नो. ट्रांसलेटेड कॉपी किस में होनी चाहिए? इंग्लिश में, हिंदी में? इंग्लिश. गुड. So along with the financial statements, 3 more documents will be going. Related party transactions, RPT बोलते हैं इसको हम. जो भी कंपनी की ट्रांजेक्शन्स अपने रिलेटेड पार्टी चैप्टर नंबर 1 डेफिनेशन रिवाइज कर लेना. आज प्रीलिमिनरी चैप्टर में जाके क्या होता है रिलेटेड पार्टी. उन पार्टीज के साथ अगर आपने कोई भी लेन देन करा है, कोई भी ट्रांजेक्शन्स, इफ यू हैव डन, a statement of those related party transactions has to be given. Second statement is of repatriation of profits. Repatriation of profits means if I am a company in USA and I have opened up an office in Pune, so this is a foreign company, place of business in India, and this is company incorporated outside India. So whatever amount I'm taking from Pune to USA, जो भी पैसा मैंने कमाया है इंडिया में, जब मैं वो बाहर लेकर जाऊंगी अपनी फॉरेन कंपनी में, that is known as repatriation of profit. Taking back home the profits from the Indian company back to your parent company is known as repatriation of profits. So whatever profits you have earned and you're taking it outside India is known as, that statement has to be given. Transfer of funds means जो पैसा मैंने शेयर होल्डर्स को एज ए डिविडेंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर, So one is I'm taking the profits back home, that is repatriation. Second is I'm dividing all the shareholders who are abroad and in India. I have divided the profits or the funds I have given to them as dividend. So whatever are the funds which I have given as a dividend, statement has to be given. How much profit I have repatriated back to my country, that statement has to be given. So 3 statements have to be filed. Statement of related party transactions, repatriation of profits, and transfer of funds. The above statements will be given as per the rules. All these documents, what is the time period now? Kab file karna hai? Within 6 months from the close of the financial year of foreign company to which the documents relate. So what is the financial year closing? Let's assume it's closing on 31st March. So what will be the time period 6 months from the close of financial year? Hurry up, tell me. Definitely, Harshida, if you had losses, then you will have to give a statement of losses. 30th September. But Miss P, if I tell you that the company is having certain problem in filing all the documentation and company want an extension. So for how long the extension can be given by the ROC? It's written in front on you on the screen. Yes, Almas, Rajveer, Soumya. Good answers. Tell me the answer. 3 months more. So you should have answered me September ke baad, October, November, December. So till 31st December, extension can be given. Very good. Divya, Priya, Anil, Julie, Rajveer, Soumya, Harshkor. Same like AGM. Yes, Rajveer, absolutely. Sagufta, great. Everybody is given correct answers. So 6 months तक फाइल करने कैसे लर्न करना है अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज में बैलेंस शीट प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट सारी चीजें फाइल करनी है अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज चैप्टर 9 वाले सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स सर्टिफाइड कॉपी इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में लेनी है 3 स्टेटमेंट्स कौन सी थी जल्दी देखो चैट बॉक्स में आरपीटी रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजेक्शन आरओपी रिपैट्रिएशन ऑफ प्रॉफिट्स एंड टीओएफ ट्रांसफर ऑफ फंड्स याद कर लेना आज ही कितने टाइम में करना है 6 मंथ्स ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल ईयर क्लोज से अगर नहीं हो सकता एक्सटेंशन विल बी गिवन फॉर हाउ लॉन्ग 3 months. Clear? Accounts of companies, section 381 is done. Now starts audit of the books of accounts. Such a smart law they have made. Huh? आपको कुछ भी एप्लीकेबल नहीं है और आप अलग से कंपनीज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड आउटसाइड इंडिया पढ़ लीजिए अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज में आप चैप्टर 9 को रेफर कर लेना ऑडिट ऑफ कंपनीज में किसको रेफर कर लेना ऑडिट किससे कराएंगे हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट से या फिर लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप फर्म से वेरी गुड एक्सीलेंट मिस पी चैप्टर 10 को रेफर कर लेना मतलब मैम कुछ भी पढ़ाने की जरूरत नहीं है सिर्फ सेक्शन खोलिए और उसके नीचे बता दीजिए कौन सा चैप्टर कहाँ पे एप्लीकेबल Are you finding companies incorporated in India easy because it's a replicate of whatever you have studied till now till chapter 10? Very few things, only the definition. सबसे interesting वही था जो हमने first day पढ़ा. Huge definition which is now clear to all. After that, it's a recap. पूरा prospectus भी पढ़कर जाएंगे आज हम सारे chapters revise हो जाएंगे है ही replication ठीक है so interesting chapter 9 applicable था chapter 10 ऑडिट ऑफ कंपनीज भी एप्लीकेबल हो गए सो ऑडिट कौन करेगा इंडियन ऑपरेशंस का प्रैक्टिसिंग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट या फिर एलएलपी पार्टनरशिप ऑफ प्रैक्टिसिंग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट प्रोविजंस ऑफ चैप्टर 10 ऑडिट एंड ऑडिटर्स म्यूटेंडस अप्लाई थर्ड पॉइंट इंटरेस्टिंग पहला हो गया अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज का सेकंड हो गया ऑडिट का तीसरा है एनुअल रिटर्न का एक ही फॉर्म मैंने कहा था और करना है वो कौन सा है FC4 किससे रिलेटेड है एनुअल रिटर्न चैप्टर एमजीटी में हमने एनुअल रिटर्न पढ़ा था मैनेजमेंट एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन या अकाउंट्स ऑफ कंपनीज में कहा पढ़ा था आपने एनुअल रिटर्न एमजीटी 7 7A एनीवन रिमेंबर्स many forms difficult to remember it's so leave it so every foreign company shall prepare yes Priya Mishra says yes Anil is now saying ma'am English so I'm trying to compensate for those who don't understand English. I'm trying to speak in Hindi for them. Otherwise, Mr. Anil, we are speaking entire lecture in English. Okay. So only for those I'm referring the translated language so that those who cannot understand English can also understand. Okay. Yes, Miss P, absolutely correct. Section 90. All right. So where were we? Every foreign company will prepare and file an annual return in form FC4. What is the time period for this annual return? 60 days from the last day of the financial year. So if the last day of financial year is 31st March, so April, May, by 31st May, you should have filed your annual return. All the particulars as stood on the close of the financial year. So whatever the matters are there, you have to file it to the registrar, your annual return in which form? FC4. Is that clear to everyone? So forms are very, very easy in foreign company. It's better you learn all these forms because they are very, very simple. FC1, all the documentation for incorporation. FC2, any alteration. FC3, list of businesses. And FC4 is, you write in the chat box. What is the form FC4 for? Annual return. To be filed in 60 days. Very excellent. Kirti, Rajveer, Harshita, Chauhan, everybody. Almas, Rishn, Shri, nice. All right. Now let's move to section number 382. 380, 381 clear, 382 and 383 we are done, and then we'll go to the study. Section 382 tells you where you have to display the name of foreign company. What is the meaning of displaying of name? Have you ever written the name outside your house? So wherever house in which you're staying, have you ever noticed some people have written outside their house the name of the house? Like what is the name of the house written outside the Shah Rukh Khan's house? Do you know Shah Rukh Khan, Bollywood star? What is the name written outside, display of name written outside his house? Is it Jannat or Mannat? What is it? Mannat, yes. Chauhan knows, Priya Asta, everyone knows. So what is that? Display of name. Similarly, law says whenever you open, yes, absolutely, Anil, to make sure that the respected company is foreign company. So your name board, yes, Soumya, absolutely correct. Okay. So you have to display the name, means you have to write the name of the company outside the board. Absolutely very beautifully written by Gulti Anil, that in order to make sure that it is a respected company, whatever the company is, it is a foreign company. Muhammad Farhan says the name outside is Swarag. Okay, that is the name written outside the house, but here you will be writing whatever the name of the foreign company is. Okay, so section 382 simply tells you that outside every office or business where you are doing business in India, in easily legible language, English characters, you have to write the name. If you write the name in Hindi language, it is not acceptable. You have to write the name in English characters because it's foreign company. So in India, we consider English language to be acceptable as far as foreign companies considered. Sunil Kumar says, ma'am, can you see my text? What have you written, Sunil Kumar? Please feel free to write again and ask a question. Sunil Kumar, you can write it again because so many answers coming up. The text gets here. There. Any one of the languages in general used in the locality. So you can use your general language also. So here comes your vernacular language. In Tamil Nadu, if you're there, in Tamil, you can write it down. If you're in Hyderabad, you can use different language. If you are in, what are the states? In Maharashtra, then you can use, in Punjab, you can write it in Punjabi, very good, Soumya. If you're in Maharashtra, you can write it in Marathi. So one, English language, clearly the name of this play has to be there. Yes, Asta City, you can use Hindi, but you have to have the name in English. It says one general language also you can use in the locality in which your business is situated, but the basic, easily legible in English character, it should be very clearly visible in the English character outside every office or place where you carry the business. What you have to write? Name of the foreign company and the country in which it is incorporated. So what was the name? ABC LLC that we are using. And you also write down USA. Country in which it is incorporated. US. Okay. Yes, Sunil Kumar, all your answers are correct. Your answers are coming. Okay. Primarily big letter, which vernacular. So both the vernacular language and English, Chauhan, both you have. Name of the company and the country in which the company again. And it is to be stated in legible English characters. Name of company in business letters, bills, heads, and letter papers, and all the notes. So it says you don't have to write the country's name everywhere. On all the business letters, you only write name of the company. But outside the display board, you'll write the name of the company and the country. But on the business letters, bills heads, letter papers, all the official documentation, you're only writing the name of the company. Notice of the fact that points written in 1 and 1 and the liability of the company is limited. Whether your liability is unlimited or limited, you have to tell them LLC, limited liability company. So tell them that liability of the members is limited. So three things have to be displaced. One is the name of the company, country in which it is incorporated, and the liability of the company is limited. For outside all these official documentation, only the name of company is required. Clear? Now comes the very interesting section number 383 that tells you how you have to serve the documents to foreign company. Again, chapter number 2, you have read about this service of documents. Somewhere you have done for the Indian company also. So how you will say that the document has been served to the foreign company? So I told you I have appointed in Pune Mr. Ram as an authorized representative. So any notice sent to Ram, will it be considered as the notice to foreign company? Yes or no? Any notice sent to Ram, yes, will be considered as a notice to foreign company. Now, how you have to serve this notice to Ram? This is 383 going to tell us. So any notice processes or documents which are to be served on foreign company will be served if it is addressed to a person whose name and address has been given to the registrar under 380. So you can write down, means here he is talking about the, why this cursor is not working. Here he is talking about the authorized representative. Whosoever has been named under section 380 means whosoever is the authorized person. If you have addressed it, you have posted the document to him, then it will be considered. How you have to do it? Either you go and leave it at his house, or you send it by post, or you address it which has been so delivered to the registrar or by electron. So you post it on the address which you have given to the registrar, or you go and leave it at his house, or you give it in the online mode, WhatsApp it, Facebook, Instagram, any social media site you're using. It will be considered as the document has been served to the foreign company. I hope 383 is so simple that it's crystal clear to all of them. Post or speed post, both. Yes, Chama, both. So let's have a flip pages of study material also. FC1 has to be filed within how many days? 30 days. Very good. FC2 has to be filed within how many days? 30 days. If it ceases to have any office, notice needs to be given, yes or no? Excellent. Yes, the notice needs to be given. But if I'm changing the place of business, I've not seized, I'm just changing the place of business, then I do need to give the notice. Have we done this question? Illustration 1. Accounts of companies, we have just discussed balance sheet, profit and loss account, documents of chapter 9, accounts of companies. So financial year, I told you the last class about CFS. Have we done example 5? Yes or no? Please tell me. Okay, Priya Mishra, you will find it with me now. Chauhan says we have done. Rajveer says yes, Miss P, provided there is no other place of business in India. That's everybody says we have done example 5, so we're not going to recap it. CG wala bhi humne kar liya tha. FC3, everybody has found FC3 in the study material. Here it is written, the list of businesses that you have on the date of balance sheet. You have old, new, old. Then 3 statements, related party, repatriation and transfer of funds. The documents of the accounts of companies have to be given by how much time period? 30 days, 40 days, 6 months, 3 months. The documents of Section 381, accounts of the companies, has to be filed within 6 months. Very good, Krishan Shiri. From the close of the financial year. An extension can be given till what? 3 months. Example 6, Mukesh and Jordan LLC is a foreign company and they have to file their financial statements within 6 months from the close of financial year on annual basis along with the additional documents. However, CG has exempted different documents of any foreign company, then the documents as specified shall be submitted. So you simply have to write down that if there is a company, 6 months time period has to be given and all these statements have to be given along with the documents. These are the additional documents, but if CG wants, it can give you an exemption of 3 months. Every foreign company will get its own accounts audited by practicing chartered accountant and they have not explained you a single word related to audit. उन्होंने simple कह दिया chapter 10 सारा apply. Okay. Section 382 also we have read, displaying of name. 383 also we have just covered. Let's see what the section 384 tells us. Section 384, now again you will be laughing at this chapter, I'm telling you. Going to have a big good laugh. If no place business in India, then FC needs to deliver the document. Harshada, if no business, that means if you have completely shut down your business, then yes, then you need to give the documents in the 380 when you opened up the business. If you have closed the business, then you simply need to send the notice to the registrar that we have now closed the business and we're going back. Electronic mode is only email. Asta Sethi, really? Electronic mode, we have done such an extensive definition. All those points will be covered in electronic mode when you're talking about the definition of foreign company. But if you're talking about service of documents, it can be any mode that you're using for service of documents. See, it has written. So, which has been delivered either by post or to the address or by electronic mode. So, it can be email, WhatsApp, or whatever it is. Okay, Goldie is asking something. Ma'am, could you elaborate? Transfer of funds in case of annual return. It was not in case of annual return. It was for the accounts of companies. So it says when you're giving the accounts of companies, along with that, you have to give 3 additional statements. Number 1, related party transactions. I told you whatever transactions, whatever business you have done with related party, that will be given as a record. Second is repatriation of profits. How much profit you're taking back to your home country, that statement needs to be given. Transfer of funds simply means whatever funds, whatever profits you have distributed as dividend among the shareholders, that statement also needs to be filed with the registrar. Clear? The liability is limited also should be given in every prospectus and also outside every office. So both the places you have to write down. Name of the company and country also outside as well as both the places. Only when you are writing on the bills, heads, papers, there only you have to use the name of the company. There you don't have to tell them that the liability is limited. Okay. So section 384 talks about debentures, annual return. Ab aayega beta aapka FC4, those who were not finding. The registration of charges, books of accounts and their inspection. So section 71, what was section 71 of Indian Contract Act? Yes, Harshita, then also you need to give all the documents. That's correct. 382 also written the name of the company. Yes, Asta, in that case, you have to write the name of the company as well as the country. Okay. But liability is limited, it does not have to be covered everywhere. Okay. Okay, Rajvi Ray, good debentures. So section 71 talk about issue of debentures. Kya keh rahe? Do we need to study again for debentures in foreign companies? No, he says refer section 71 and your work is done. So whatever provisions you have studied over there, debenture trustees appointed, issue of debentures, redemption of debentures, everything is applicable to foreign companies. What was section 92? I told you it's your revision, your test. Annual return, excellent. Along with the specific modifications and exceptions, it will also be applicable to the foreign company as if it was a company incorporated in India. Also, foreign company which fulfills the criteria under section 131 35(1). What was section 135? CSR, corporate social responsibility. You have opened up a company in India with respect to Indian operations who are also bound to do CSR activity. So if I ask you a simple question, there was a foreign company in USA and it has a place of business in India and Delhi. Does it need to comply with CSR provisions? Yes or no? Absolutely correct. Yes, it does definitely needs to comply with the CSR provisions also. Every foreign company who was asking, Priya Mishra or Miss P who was asking, every foreign company will file an annual return in what form? FC4 form, and within how many days? 60 days from the close of financial year. I will show you FC4 also after the break. What was section 128? Books of accounts to be kept at the principal place of business in India. If you're keeping outside India or any other place, you will have to intimate. Everybody clear? Section 128, books of accounts, all the provisions that you have studied, section MGT, books of accounts, everything is going to be applicable to foreign company also. What was chapter 6? The registration of charges. What is the meaning of registration of charges? Tell me, children. You have done chapter 5, 6 with me, deposits, registration of charges. Deposit is, anyways, he made it applicable in definition only. So smart, na? Here he has applied registration of charges also. So what is left? Why are you saying we have made companies incorporated India, section 380 to 386? Sara to laga diya. Chapter 9, accounts of companies, all the sections applicable. Audit, chapter 10, whole applicable. Annual return, reference has been given to section 92. Books of accounts, section 128 is applicable. Registration of charges, chapter number 6 is applicable. Yes, absolutely, Mr. Goldie Anil. It is maintenance of books of accounts under 128. Similar way it's applicable to foreign companies. Registration of charges, nobody has replied yet in the chat box. Kya tha chapter mein beta? When you have taken a loan, security has been given, that security and charge needs to be registered. Interest or lien created. Very good, Krishna Shri. Excellent, Krishna Shri. What about others? Deposits, Rajveer, that was chapter 5. I'm asking what is registration of charges. See, children, you need to keep revising whatever you have done with me in the previous classes. Keep revising, beta, otherwise you'll forget. Very good, Anil. It's a charge on the assets of the company. Good, Divya. Fixed charges, floating charges. Excellent, Soumya. Creating a charge and then getting it registered with ROC. That's absolutely correct. That is whole chapter all about. When the charge has been released, when the charge has been registered, all those CAG1 form, 2 form, everything you have. Freezing of charges. That's good. Great. After that, chapter number 14 is not part of your CA intermediate syllabus. So this is a new topic which you won't have heard about. Any inspection, query, and investigation. Whatever inspection and query we apply to Indian company, same provisions will apply to the Indian business of foreign company as if it was an Indian. So what is section 384 briefly telling us? That section 71 is applicable, 92 is applicable, 128 is applicable, chapter 6 and chapter 14 is applicable to the Indian operations of the foreign company. Now, next section 385 tells you that while you are registering the documents with the registrar, you need to pay the fees. Where is the fees written? As may be prescribed. So whatever fees they will ask you, please quietly pay that fees and then you move ahead. So they have not given you the amount of fees to be paid. They simply say that whenever you're registering the documents with the registrar while complying with this chapter, you have to pay the fees also. According to the company's rule, the fees to be paid for registering any document will be as provided in the company's rules 2014. So they have not given you any kind of fees. They have simply told you that the fees will also be up. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, absolutely, Soumya. They have made applicable to other sections also. सेक्शन 382 का पॉइंट फिर से समझा दीजिए पवन कुमार क्या नहीं समझ आया पूछिए आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू it fluctuates, that's why they have not mentioned, I guess. Yes, Anil, because they want to keep the uniformity for the Indian operations. It's not that since you're a foreign company you are doing business in India only, you have opened up an office in India, so for that they want to make the applicability of the Indian law strictly for the operations. Okay, Pavan Kumar, you can ask what you have not understood in 382. So let's take a small break here, children, and then we'll move ahead because we have covered plenty of sections and we are still remaining with some important sections. So let's take a break here and then we'll come. So we're taking a break here. So I'm going to give you certain question first. I'm going to judge your knowledge about what you have understood. Okay, I'm going to address your query, Priya. Meanwhile, I'm just going to give a question to the class and then I'm going to listen. So TransAsia Limited is registered as a public company under 4 Clause 7 of the Erstwhile Companies Act, which is a subsidiary of Galileo Limited, a foreign company. TransAsia carries on business in India, describing itself as a foreign company. Can it do so? State the actions which can be taken. Okay, wait. We have not yet done the part of the actions to be taken. I think you can do that. Mr. Zian is an Indian citizen who is holding, I hope you have not done this question till now, 25% of the paid up capital of Laurel Steve Limited, a company which was incorporated in Singapore with a paid up capital of 10 million Singapore dollars. Swaraj, a company registered, holds 30% of the paid up capital. Lauren has recently established a share transfer office at New Delhi. Please tell us what formalities needs to be done. Read the question very carefully and then try to solve. Okay, Varsha, not a problem. You can still apply your brains and try solving the question. Meanwhile, I'm reading what query Priya has raised. Ma'am, I want to ask, there's so much theory to learn and writing is also very difficult. Give us some tips for the language to be written in the paper and how to write in our own language. Okay, that's why we are doing these questions, Priya Mishra. In this respective question only, I will explain you how you have to express yourselves. But I give you 2 minutes. Everybody is going to write their answers in 3 paragraphs. Or no worries, Mohammed Farhan. I want 3 paragraphs, provisions of law, facts of the case, and conclusion for this respective question. We have already done a related question to this. Yes, Rajvi, that's definitely for sure. We'll take a case study based session. So not a problem. Okay, everybody read the question and give me the answers immediately in the chat box right now. So yes, Anil, you're writing correct that he's holding more than 50% by an Indian resident, but you don't have to write like this. All right, let me share the knowledge with all of you how you have to express the answers. So now everybody is going to listen very carefully. The simple thing is that we know how to write. We know the answer, but the only thing we don't get marks is because we don't know how to write the answer. Say, for example, if I have shown you that he's holding more than 50%, then you simply know this line that for Indian operations, whole of the act becomes applicable. Am I right? This is correct thing. But if I only write this much stuff in my exam, then I will get half a mark out of 3 marks. If I give provisions of the law, means you have to tell them which section he is talking about, what is the context, what is the law behind this. So first you will write the paragraph provisions of the law. Under section 2, clause 42. I told you there are few of the sections which are important to learn. Just a second. Few are important to learn and few are which you can just have a quick go through. But these kind of sections which give definition of foreign company, it's a must to write this section in order to give a good impression to the examiner that yes, the child knows, and it's a very simple section. We have already done elaborative session on this particular section. So by now you have learned it by heart. Section 2, clause 42. What is the definition of foreign company? You will give that definition. If you would have read in the question what he has given you, you have not done the same question. You have done a similar question because this is a new line. Laurel has recently established share transfer office in New Delhi. What is the meaning of this line? What happens when you have transferred a share transfer or share registration office? What happens? If I'm opening a share transfer or share registration office in India, then that means I have a place of business in India. If I'm a company in abroad and I have opened up a share transfer, where it is written under section 386. But I told you before only. So it's written under section 386 that place of business includes a share transfer or registration office. Now section 379, many of you in the chat box have given ma'am section 379. So that's correct. Yes, Anil, it's place of business, that's correct. Jyandra, Krishna Shri, very good. Sagupta. So that's great. So many of you have written 379, but you have to, this is the way you have to write in the exam. First context, I'm telling you that this is the definition of foreign company and this is included in the definition of foreign company. This all is provisions of law. Then he's giving you another section that where a person who is holding at least 50% of the equity or preference share capital of a foreign company by one or more Indian citizens or by Indian companies or together they are holding it, then what will happen? Provisions of chapter 22 and other provisions will become applicable as if it was a company incorporated. यहाँ तक सारा हमारा provisions of law है. मैंने chapter के 3 sections briefly लिखने हैं. In English, I have to write these 3 provisions before going to next part of the question. Everyone is clear till here? So this is your provisions of law. Children, you need a lot of writing practice. If I teach you something and you are sitting here attentively in front of me and listening and grabbing the information, that is one. After the teacher has taught you, second thing is you revise it at home. Third is when you learn. And fourth is when it goes over here, revision, final revision. If you have done these 4 to 5 times, flip through of the pages of a single line, then only you're able to attempt your question paper very nice. So please remember, it's not that ma'am has taught us, we are sitting over here online and we are understanding and we are lost in our own world. Things will not work. Always sit with a pen and pencil and paper. Try to write down the answers. Now is the time. We are doing it so slowly. This chapter is so simple. You should complete this chapter learning part also with me only. I'm telling you. Because I agree syllabus is very huge, but you need to divide it in different parts and you have to be very much ready. Remember, you all are chartered accountants. Okay? Shigupta is saying, ma'am, iska matlab pura book yaad karna padega. Wo to karna hi padega. You're CS students, right? You have to. But there is a technique and tips to do that. See, when I am listening to a teacher, I'm understanding, I'm grasping the information, I'm gaining knowledge. Second, revision, if I'm not giving the very next day or the same day, then everything vanishes from my brain. So if I have learned from teacher in 2.5 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours, then I need a quick revision for 1 hour. But if I don't do that instant revision, maybe by next day I haven't done it, then I need to spend 3 to 4 hours again whenever I sit with it. Simple thumb. This we have been doing since childhood. Ma'am used to tell us, history chapter, science chapter, ghar jaakar ek bari padh lena, open the book and read what we have done in the class, remember? So that simple theory you have to apply forever in your life. You'll never forget. If you have learned from a teacher and you open your books and you revise it, you'll never forget. But if you don't revise it, then you spend the same amount of time after things. Then that's the problem when the things go. Backlog gets getting created and we are not finishing our work. Everybody understood? So keep revising along with the teachers. So first paragraph is provision of law. Second, what is the name of the second paragraph? Please write in the chat box. Facts of the case. What will you give? Now, this is in your own language. facts of the case, everyone write it in a different way, the way they want to impress the examiner. You can tell them that it is a company incorporated in Singapore. These shares are being held. Either A or B you can write, or simple you can. Now they have done analysis along with the facts. You will do it separately. First you'll give the facts, and the third paragraph will be analysis and conclusion. So you will write, we conclude, since it has a share office in India, therefore it is a foreign company. And since the shareholding is more than 50%, therefore, let me go to the next page. Therefore, due to the shareholding, he will be treated as an Indian company. Section 380, I told you, further tells you about all these details. Now again, if it's a 7 marks question, you will give the details of 380. If it was only 3 marks question, then we will stop till here. Why is he giving you section 380? Can anyone tell me? Because company seeks your advice what formalities to be observed. What formalities? Since it's a foreign company, so your formality number 1 is section 380 में documents file कर. Remember? Clear? Have we done this question? Tokisha Motors Limited. Do you want to do this question? All right, let's do it. Tokisha Motor was incorporated in Japan. Its share capital is held by Indian citizens 10% and Indian companies. Will we consider the Indian companies holding also? Yes, ma'am. It is holding up till 50%. 379 is applicable, yes or no? Everybody says yes. Wasn't it more than 50%? Company opens its representative office in Mumbai on 15th January. In order to receive the orders from Indian market and make available the delivery of Japanese luxury cars to Indian purchasers. What kind of business it is doing? It has opened up an office, place of business in India. Company is not aware of Indian company law, hence could not file the required documents. Company could file all the required documents only on 28th February 2021. Based on the above, please tell us whether the provisions are applicable on Acacia Motors Limited and what documents are to be filed and by what time the required documents to be filed. Tell me, you have to give me the answer. I'm not going to give you the answers. We have done the concept very nicely with me. We have done the revision also of section 379. Apply your brains and tell me first part of the question. Does he needs to apply with it? Again, you will not simply write down yes or no. This is how you have to express yourself. Okay? Excellent, Priya Mishra, Soumya. Not less than 50% is the word that you have used. So 50% or more will be the correct answer. What is the provision written under 379? Let me show it to all of you. What is the exact interpretation of law? What is the exact wording that they are saying? So see, we are not less than 50%. So please write down 50% or more. 50% or more. So now tell me correct whether he'll be covered or not. Absolutely correct answer. Since 50% or more is the correct answer, therefore, yes, the chapter 22 provisions will be covered. And what are the documents to be filed? Again, whatever documents in 380 we have done. And what is the time period? Within 30 days of such opening of the office. When have they opened the office? 15th of January 2021. By when the documents should have been filed? 15th February 2021. And when are they filing? So it should have been latest filed by 14th February with the registrar. They have done a default in compliance. That is what the question is trying to tell. Yes, Miss P, you are on the correct track. Yash is asking in every question I write only section number. Yes, Yash, it's okay if you write the section number, but if you don't remember the correct section, I would advise you not to write the section if you don't remember correctly. You can simply write down as visions of the companies. Shugufta, is it clear now? It's 50 or more. Very good, Soumya. These three sections will be applicable. Absolutely correct. Yes, yes, Dev. No, 381 will not come. No need of 381. He's not asking you about the accounts. He's simply telling you that the documentation. Okay? He's asking you what documents are to be filed. So when you've opened up a company in India, then you need to file these documents for the registration. Clear, everyone? So this kind of conceptual clarity really helps the students to gain more knowledge. So let's jump back to our chapter. Let's complete the chapter and then again we'll come back to the questions. So now what is the meaning of the word interpretation? Section 386. After these chapters, you will be doing law chapters also, interpretation of statutes, general clauses. So what is the meaning of interpretation? It says it has simply given the three definitions. What is the meaning of certified? Who is a director? And what is the place of business? So we just did a question. We was referring section 386. So what is included in place of business? Tell me, children. Under 386, what all is included? What all is included in place of business? Share transfer office and share registration. So if I am a company, don't worry, Anil, all these presentations and assignments will be given to you. They will be uploaded on the. Okay. If I tell you that I have a company opened up an office in Japan and I don't have any place of business in India, neither I'm doing any business activity, but I've opened up a share registration office in India. Will you call me a foreign company? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because section 386 tells you that place of business also include share registration office and share transfer office. Okay, good. What is the meaning of director? Any person who is acting as the directions given by the board of directors. And what is the meaning of certified? Director is easy, place of business also you have understood. What is the meaning of certified? You have read this word in two places. Section 380, MOA and AO needs to be certified and translated copy of English has to be given. And after that, under 381, again, financial statements have to be given in a translated English language. A certified copy has to be given. What is the meaning of certified? Signed and checked. Very good. Excellent, Rajveer. Means it has to be a true copy or a correct translation. Now, if you are going for an admission in your college, say, for example, you're taking admission in BCom, and the organization institute has asked you, or for any job you are going, or in any case, they've asked you, give us the attested copy of your Aadhaar card. So what will you do? You'll take a photocopy of Aadhaar and you will get it certified from someone. That is, or self-attesting that it is correct. You will sign it on your own, or you will have to verify it from the appropriate authority. Very good, Sam. So that is known as certified. Similarly, when you are giving a Russian copy of financial statements, I told you ROC does not understand Russian language. You will have to translate it into English. Now you have translated into English. How does ROC knows that you have given a correct translation? So he says, please go and get it certified from someone. Now here, if the translation is happened in India, then who will certify? And if the translation has happened outside India, then who will certify is the major question. If the translation happens in India, then the attorney or a judge of High Court needs to certify this copy. He will come and check whether it is a correct. You will have to get a certification from the judge or attorney or any lawyer or a judge of High Court will attest this copy that yes, it is a true and correct copy. Or you need an affidavit from a person. I will show you where it is written in the book also. You need to have an affidavit from a person. Write down. Affidavit from a person who is, in the opinion of Farusi, is having awareness of both the languages. In our case, we are using Russian, or it is any other language, French or Chinese, whatever your language was. Affidavit has to be signed by a person who has good knowledge about these languages as well as English language. Because ROC does not have time to check out whether the correct copy has been given or not. He will ask this job to be done by the attorney or a judge of high court. Any advocate will do it, or a judge of high court, or affidavit has to be given from a person who is having the knowledge of these languages and as well as English language. But if the translation of the certificates is done outside India, then who will certify it? Then only that person who has the custody. Only that person who has the custody of the original document. Whosoever is having the custody means in whose possession this original document is lying, he will either sign it or the notary of the outside country person. Either of them can sign. Even you can get it signed from a notary or the person who is having the custody of the original document, he will give his certificate. Is that clear to all of you? Ma'am, in case Indian citizen has opened business in USA and has no other business in India, then the person did not follow the act. Okay. Okay, Anil, I will just take up this question. First, fatapat se complete this certification part. Everybody is done with this. In India, attorney, advocate, judge of high court, or any person who's having knowledge of both the languages. And outside India, only the person who is having the custody of original documents or the notary will be giving the certification. Everyone is clear about these points. Now, there is a query raised by Anil. He is saying, in case the Indian citizen. So listen, everyone will answer this question. I have done this question in the previous class. So listen very carefully. He has written, if there is an Indian citizen, so there is Indian citizen, Mr. Ram, who has opened a business in US. And he is doing business in USA only. Is it a foreign company, Anil? First of all, tell me. Varsha says yes. Others says no. Good. Then what it is? If I have opened up a company in USA and I'm doing business in USA, then what it is? It is a body corporate, definitely, because it is a company incorporated outside India. And yes, Anil, you are right. Then this act will not be applicable because this is applicable specifically to the foreign company. These sections. Okay. Very good, Julie. Good. Okay, everybody understood? That's now again, section 387 is your test of which chapter? Test of which chapter I'm going to take in section 387. Something is visible to you from the board? Very nice, ma'am. Chapter 3. Are you ready for the test? All right, good. Everybody has written correct. Yes, Anubhav, prospectus. Divya, everybody. Good, Pooja, Anil, everyone. Let's start. So it says 387 talks about how the prospectus has to be dated and what all particulars to be given in the prospectus. Now, why there is a need of prospectus, first of all? Why there is a need of prospectus? So there is a company, ABC LLC of USA, and it wants to raise certain money from India. There is a company, ABC LLC, incorporated in USA, wants to raise money from India. And if any company wants to raise money in India, they need to issue a prospectus. The first statement, the first line of chapter 3, that whenever you come for issuing of securities, you're raising money from the public company has to issue a prospectus in order to raise money from the public. So what does it say? No person will issue or circulate or distribute the prospectus if it is a company incorporated in or outside India, whether it is formed or established a place of business, unless the prospectus is signed, it includes the MOA and AOA, other documents of the incorporation, address is included, it is dated, and whether the company has established in the place of business in India, then what is the address? All these matters to be included in the prospectus, then only the company can issue a prospectus. So if I ask you in a positive way, he says no person will issue if it is not included. So what is the positive line? Number 1, prospectus shall be dated and signed. It shall contain MOA and AOA, incorporation documents, address, and the enactments and provisions. What is the meaning of enactments and provisions? Now, it is related to chapter 3, but section 387 has its own stories also. Why? Because it's talking about a foreign company. We all were Indians and we were doing Indian business. It was an Indian company. Here 387. नहीं तो फिर उसमें ही कह देता ना, फिर तो अप्लाई ही ना होता, फिर तो बोलता ही ना ये सेक्शन बनाने के लिए, वो सिंपल बोल देता दिस इज फॉर द इंडियन एंड फॉरेन कंपनीज बोथ. But he has made specific section 387 that is for Indian company, foreign company. So it says enactments or the provision. Enactment means if it is a company which is formed in USA, so what USA Act is applicable to them, that enactment also has to be given. If it is not in the English language, then a certified translation has to be given. So what all will be given? MOA and AOA is required. Incorporation documents and the acts under which it has been made. Address in which the documents were made. If it is not in English language, certified copy. Okay. The date in which the country was incorporated, the date on which and the country in which the company was incorporated. This was not required in prospectus. Why? Because prospectus was an Indian company. Okay. So here you have to give what date the company was made and which is the country in which it has been incorporated. Whether the company has established a place of business. If yes, then what is the place of business? Its address needs to be given. Whether the company has established a place of business in India or not. So if it has established a place of India, then address of that company will also be given, yes or no, or only the principal place of business. Excellent. Place of Indian company also will be given. Good. Now, these are the 6 matters which we have understood in section 26 also. All the matters given under section 26, which SEBI requires approval, everything will also be included. However, point number 1, 2, and 3 of above will not be included if more than 2 years have passed when the company has commenced its business. Now, this is something which is very important. A company was formed, foreign company, which was formed in India on 1st October 2022. And on 1st November 25, it decided to raise funds from India. So children, what would have happened? On 1st November 25, when it is raising funds, we would have asked him that please, this company, you need to issue a prospectus. You need to issue a prospectus. So in the prospectus, all these matters are required. MOA, AOA, incorporation enactments, all this English language translation, established place of business. But now the company was formed in 22. So 23, 24, 25. 3 years have passed since this company has been formed. Do we need to give 1, 2, 3 enactments, MOA, address, incorporation documents in the prospectus? Yes or no? Harsh Kaur says no. Pooja says no. Soumya, Almaz, Julie, very good. Everybody says no. Why? Why do you think? Was there any logic behind that? So law says now you have been in India for more than 2 years. You have been submitting your documents of registration also. You have done your self-registered under Section 380. So it's okay, chill. You have been in India. Now we know you. So no need to give all these documents, MOA, incorporation documents again. More than 2 years condition. Very good, Divya. Condition of more than 2 years is that clear, everyone? We will do illustration also related to this from the chapter. So compliance with conditions given under 387 cannot be waived on any grounds. You cannot say that, okay, this company will not comply with 387. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. Every foreign company will have to comply with 387. You cannot remove or waive these conditions. No person shall issue to any Indian person securities intended mentioned under 387 unless the form has been issued which complies with the provisions of this chapter and such issue does not contravene the provisions of Section 388. Now, what is Section 388? If anyone remembers, experts consent. कुछ याद है आपको prospectus में आपने पढ़ा था experts opinion. After those matters contained in Section 26, we had experts opinion. What was that? Quickly give me a recap. Quickly give me a recap. What was expert statement? I am not going to tell you. You open your books, you do cheating, whatever you want to do. I want the answer in the chat box. What have you learned about expert statement in my chapter prospectus that we did together? Shugupta has given definition of expert. TSES in GD. I'm asking experts opinion. क्या पढ़ा था prospectus में आना चाहिए नहीं? Krishan Shiri says yes, 26 subsection 5. You want me to open section 26 subsection 5 and read, or you are going to give it to me? You have to write it here. Okay, Harshada, written consent by expert. That's great. What else? Very good, Miss P. Statement of expert, not withdrawn and trusted and should not be, what have you written? Not incorporated when expert is. So I want those 3 points. A written consent has to be taken. The consent should not have been withdrawn. And a declaration or statement that the expert has given his consent and that declaration that he has not withdrawn his consent needs to be given. You forgot, children? You forgot? Same provisions of expert's opinion is given over here in the section 388 that no circulation of prospectus will be done unless an expert statement has been taken. He should not have withdrawn this statement. His written consent is taken and a statement that his written consent is included and he has not withdrawn. Forgot these 3 points, children. Now you are saying, Shagufta, oh yes, ma'am. Children, it's very important to remember and retain the information. Keep revising. Yes, Krishan Shiri, excellent answer. Miss P, excellent answer. Harshita tried very good. Others? So you should have made notes by now. No? You should have referred to your notes immediately. Soumya, good. Puja, correct. Now you remembered, you recalled, children. It was so easy. So same provisions of related to expert that you have studied in chapter 26 come under section 388 also, that the expert should have given his written consent. He should not be engaged in the formation of company. That's correct. His consent has been taken and it is in writing, and a statement that he has not withdrawn his consent. If he has already withdrawn his consent, then you cannot issue the prospectus including his consent. Is that clear? If the prospectus does not have the effect when the application is made, all the persons are bound by the provisions of section 33. What was section 33? Issue of application forms. The application forms also have to go along with the prospectus. What was section 40? Securities to be dealt with the stock exchange. Okay? A statement shall be included in the prospectus. Any report or memorandum appearing on the face or reference. All these things have to be included on the face of the prospectus. Do you remember section 26? Do you want me to show you section 26 that you have completely forgotten? Okay, let me open my prospectus immediately for all of you so that I can show you what you are missing. So two different notes I have given you for prospectus. I hope you are referring and preparing from them as well. Prima facie, yes, good. Now you remember. See, children, section 26. Dated and signed, declaration, statement. Expert should not be engaged, has given a written consent and not withdrawn. No prospectus is required in two cases. Same आएगा उसमें भी. कौन से दो cases में prospectus was not required? If the prospectus is issued to the existing members or debenture holders, same provision for foreign company. If you are issuing the prospectus to the existing members of the foreign company, no need to issue prospectus again. If you are, that means right shares or bonus shares. If the shares have already been listed before and you are issuing the same shares which have been previously issued, you don't need the prospectus. Prospectus shall on the face of it include that the copy has been delivered and filed and all the documents and statements are attached has also been specified. Remember, children, now, all of you. So I've shown you where you have to revise it from. Please keep on doing your revision. Section 33, issue of share application, 40, all these points will be applicable. So we were here. So section 387 only tells you that when the prospectus is not applicable, if you're applying to the existing shareholders, and if the prospectus is related, when you have the right to renounce related to rights shares, right? As far as the prospectus is to be dated, the securities are uniform with respect to the previously issued, then also you don't need the prospectus. So uniform securities debentures holders, you don't need the prospectus again. If it is related to the existing shares, then you don't need the prospectus again. And what does it say? Section 387 cannot be waived of the conditions and all the provisions of 388 should also be complied. We just read what is 388. Expert's opinion has to be given. He should not have withdrawn it and the statement included to that effect. And what was the next part? Section 43 also to be taken care of. Section 40 also to be taken care of. So chapter 3, he's not saying chapter 3 fully is applicable. He's giving you different sections that this is applicable, this is applicable. A statement shall deem to be included, contained in any report or memorandum on the face or by reference. So on the face of the prospectus, all these things shall be included. याद आ गया आप सबको? Clear है? Still wondering, lost? Where are you, students? Remember now, I have shown you section 386 also. Good. Registration of prospectus. Again, the same stories have been given in section 389. Let's have a quick reading. What will happen? How the prospectus needs to be get registered. No person will circulate, distribute or the prospectus offered unless the prospectus has been dated. Okay. Copy of prospectus has to be certified by the chairperson of the company and two other directors. So in case of foreign company, how the registration will be done as per section 389. As per section 389, the registration will be done. And who is going to sign the prospectus? Chairperson and two other directors of the company. And a resolution has to be passed that it has been delivered for the registration to the registrar. State on the face of it that the copy has been delivered and also endorse or attach any consent required for such documents. So simply he is telling you about the signing and delivering of prospectus, that you have to sign the prospectus. Who is going to sign the prospectus? Chairperson as well as two other directors of the company. And then you have to state on the face that it is signed and certified and then deliver it to the ROC for registration. What all documents to be attached? Consent has been taken from the expert. Copy of contracts for the appointment of manager. Now, this is something new and different. This is not part of your section 26. This is part of your section 389 that we are doing in the registration of prospectus. So, expert's opinion 388 is clear to everyone. Any appointment of managing director or manager that you have done, which is in writing, and memorandum giving full particulars. Here, children, memorandum means a document. हिंदी में आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट देना है जिसमें आपने सारी डिटेल्स देनी है, जो आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करे हैं मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर और मैनेजर को अपॉइंट करने के लिए. In English, you have to give the copy of contracts which you have made with the managing director or manager, and they should be in writing. Is that clear? All right. After that, the third thing is a copy of any other material contracts which are not entered in the ordinary course of business, but entered within preceding 2 years. So any material contracts, any important contracts which should not be related to business, they also have to be attached to the prospectus. Anything which is related to the ordinary course of business, that you are already filing now. So any contract within the preceding 2 years that you have entered, which are not related to the business, but they have been entered in the previous 2 years, they also have to be filed. And a copy of underwriting agreement and copy of power of attorney if the prospectus is signed through duly authorized agent of therapies. Is that clear, everyone? So we will see it word to word from the module also. Before we move further, let us have a quick recap of these sections from the module. All right. Accounts audit was all very simple. Displaying of name has been done. We have discussed this. Piece also we have done. Interpretation certified. Okay, let's do this. Illustration number 2. Examine with respect to the provisions of Companies Act whether the following companies will be treated as foreign company. Don't cheat from the answers and honestly answer. A company was incorporated outside India and it has a share registration office in Mumbai. Is it a foreign company? Yes or no? All right, very good. Yes, Asta, you want to ask something? Tanisha, very nice. Everybody. Yes, ma'am, because It has opened up a share registration office. Therefore, it comes under the definition of place of business. Therefore, yes, it is a foreign company. Indian citizen incorporated company in Singapore for carrying on the business there only. What will be your answer for the second part? So you will say if no office in India, then it is not a foreign company. If it is in Singapore and doing business in Singapore only, then it is a body corporate, but it is not a foreign company. Okay. So how are you going to give the answers? You'll give section 2 clause 42 definition. Section 380 place of business includes this. Therefore, to qualify, it must be outside India. It must has a place of business in India. Children, this is the best way study material has written the answer. I want you to write this way the definition of foreign company if it comes in the exam. Any case study, you should write it like this. Incorporated outside India, having a place of business in India, and he's doing the business either in its own name or through it from. It must conduct the business activity in India. Therefore, this first part, it is yes. Second part, it is immaterial. He is an Indian citizen, whosoever he is. It is not a foreign company because he does not have any place of business in India, neither he is doing any business activity in India. Is that clear, everyone? Let's see if I can give you one question. Okay. You have not found, somebody has written, we have not found where is the point related to certified translation has been given. So children, there was once a question that has come in the exam. So you can simply refer to this question so that your concept is completed related to certification also. Maybe they have now removed it from the study material. So there was a company incorporated in China, established a place of business in Mumbai. The documents were in the Chinese language. So they want to file a certified translation copy. Who can authenticate the translated copy under the Companies Act and the rules be? So who will do the translation? I told you, if the documents are to be filed, they have to be a translated copy in English language. If this translation is done within India, I made you write it down, advocate, attorney, appearing in High Court, or the affidavit of the person who is having knowledge of both the languages. Therefore, we assume that the language has been translated in India. Either of the persons can be doing the certification. Clear? And if it was translated outside India, then who will sign it? Give me in the chat box. If the copy of translation was done outside India, then who will certify it? Excellent. Very nice. So all of you have given the correct answer. Person who has the custody of the original document as well as or the notary of that country. Very nice. So I gave you 2 minutes. Solve this question and write down the answers in the chat box. Everybody is going to solve this question. 5 correct answers so far. Excellent, Almas. Rajveer, very nice. Section also, that's nice. शगुफ्ता फॉरेन कंपनी तो है ही है, वो तो पता ही है. आस्था, वेरी नाइस. सौम्या, जयेंद्रा, this is related to section 383. Shagufta, Jayendra, FC1. Miss P, good. All right. So let us see the question. It is a company registered in UK carrying on the trading activity with the principal place of business in Chennai. You will write down company registered outside India having an office in Chennai. Then yes, it's a foreign company. Company did not obtain registration or make the requirements. GST wants to serve a show cause notice. This is related to your service of notice to foreign company. Advise the GST officer how to send the notice. They will have to send the notice to the authorized representative. Service of notice to document to foreign company. Section 383 is the provision. Any notice or other document, if to be served to the foreign company, shall deem to be sufficiently served if it addressed to the authorized representative who was named in the registered office. Point number 1 part of the question. Second part is how you have to serve it. Leave it at his house or send it by post. Point number 3, conclusion. GST officer may serve the show cause notice giving an assumption that it is a foreign company within the meaning of section 379 of the Companies. Is that clear? So you can also tell them that whosoever is the authorized representative, to them the notice can be given. Now this question I'm going to give you after a while. Let's complete the syllabus and then I'm again going to take your test. $389, everything is clear till $389, children? Section 390, offer of Indian depository receipt. I will give you 5 minutes break in between so that you can go through all the sections, and if you have a doubt, you can ask. What is ideas? Now, this is not that important because we've already done under section 41, 42 about GDRs, Global Depository Receipt, when we did prospectus. The way we are raising money going abroad and issuing securities on their stock exchange, similarly, sometimes companies from outside India come and raise money on our Indian stock exchange. So if anyone is coming and raising money in domestic depository in India, then it is known as IDRs, that is Indian Depository Receipts. So far, only one IDR has come up till date, that is from Standard Chartered Bank, which happened long back. They have also now withdrawn that IDRs. So we don't have any ideas as of now, but since the procedure is given, we will quickly have a recap or reading of this thing. It's quite similar to GDRs. Those who have done prospectus with me, they can refer to the GDR lecture. It is exactly similar. So section 90 says the offer of Indian IDRs, the requirement you have to give the disclosure and prospectus along with the letter of offer. IDRs are to be dealt with the underwriters or the domestic custodians. So if I am a company in India and Infosys and I want to raise my money in USA, then Infosys will go to their custodian banks and will tell them that we want our securities to be raised in USA office. Then the custodian bank will get in touch with the overseas depository bank in USA and they will tell the USA citizens that now we have the shares in our hand, you can chase. Similarly, if any company wants to come to India, so now US company will tell the domestic custodian bank in India that we want to raise the money in India. So here the receipt is created by domestic depository in India and it is authorized by a company which is incorporated outside India. So they will tell them that, so now USA citizen company will go to their overseas depository. They will give them the securities, which will again give them to the custodian domestic bank in India. And then they will tell them, the Indian citizens, that we have the depository receipts we are going to issue. So we call it shares when we are listing on stock exchange. For these areas and GDRs, we call them depository receipts. So this section simply tells you how the areas have to be offered, what is the role of the domestic custodians and underwriters, and how the sale and transmissions of ideas happens. So you can simply give it a reading. Rule 13 tells you that all the procedures of Indian depository receipts. Chapter 15, provisions related to mergers and amalgamations will also comply. Foreign companies can merge with other companies prior to approval of RBI is required. So can any foreign company merge with a company registered? Yes, they can, but you have to take approval from the RBI. For the purpose of expression, foreign companies means any company which is incorporated or body corporate having a place of business in India or not. So you cannot simply apply to body corporates, you have to apply to all the foreign companies. I think we have left section 389 in between. Have we done section 389? Yes, we have done 389. So application of section 30. Now this is important. 391 is something which is really interesting and important. Will prospectus be issued again? Yes, Ms. P. So prospectus is anyways being issued when we are raising securities in India. So for ideas, you have to specifically follow section 390. Okay. Harshida, what are you writing that by that time company cannot set off the losses? So you can simply, yes, you have gone into GST. You don't need to go into GST. You simply have to tell them that you have to give the notice to the authorized representative. Application of section 34 to 36 and chapter 20. Section 391 tells you that what was section 334 to 36? Children, please tell me. Please tell me. I forgot what is 34, 35, 36. You all remember. You all know that very well. What is section 34 to 36? Very nice. Excellent. Misstatement and prospectus. No, Miss P, you don't need to go into so much of details of IDR. Simply what I've told you, the story about the custodian overseas bank, that is sufficient for you. It's not very detailed. You don't need to. Yes, misstatement is prospectus, criminal and civil liability. Excellent. Shri Gupta, Krishna, Shri Pooja, Soumya, Asta, Miss P, all of you have given the correct answer. So all those provisions will be applicable on the issue of prospectus to the company incorporated outside India under 389 as they were the prospectus issued by the Indian company. So when you're issuing the prospectus, whenever you're raising securities in India, you need to issue the prospectus. All those filing and documentation has to be done, and 34 and 36 liabilities also. Similarly, when you're issuing the ideas by foreign company, here comes Miss P, your answer. For ideas also section 34 and 36 is applicable. So if you do any kind of civil and criminal liabilities while issuing Indian depository receipts, then also you come up with the hold of liabilities. Winding up provision will also apply to foreign companies. So whatever winding up is applicable to Indian companies, same provisions becomes applicable to the foreign companies. Now the second last section 392 and then we have 393. Section 392 tells you defaulting foreign companies. So if you have not complied with any of the provisions of section 379, 380, 81, you have not set up the accounts as per section 380, documentation, or you have not set up the accounts as per 381, you're not following the auditing provisions, then what is the penalty? 1 lakh to 3 lakh. And if any additional default continues, 50,000 for every day during which the default. But the most important penalty of foreign company, why I tell you that this is very important penalty of foreign company, because every officer who is making a default is liable to more penalty, that is up till 5 lakhs. Company ko to 1 to 3 lakhs lagni hai penalty. But any officer who is in default will be having a penal charges of 25,000 rupees fine. Students, I'm going to give you a small 2 minutes break over here and just go through all the sections 387, 388 and 389 so that you don't have any doubts in prospectus related issues. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes break. Yes, have you gone through all the sections? No doubts? So quickly, let's open the study material. So what is the penalty under section 392? If the company is not complying with the provisions of foreign company is not complying with the provisions. What is the penalty? Quickly write down in the chat box. 1 to 3 lakhs. Excellent. Rajveer Asta, very good. And if there is an officer who has defaulted, what will his penalty? Good, Pavan Kumar. Yes, 25,000 to 5 lakhs. Okay, good. Not 50,000, Asta. So 50,000 is the additional penalty that will continue for the company. Very good. So let's do this example number 7. Mir Company LLC, a company which was formed in Dubai on 28th April. It has set up a place of business in Mumbai. Now it offers 2 subscriptions of securities of this company in India. So before going for the subscription, it will have to file a prospectus. So examiner will give you a question like this. He will ask you, is there any formalities to be complied with? So you will tell them that yes, since it is issuing the securities to Indians, therefore it will have to comply with the provisions of section 387. A prospectus has to be filed. It shall be dated and signed and not required to include point number 1, 2, and 3. Why? Why? Because it opened in 2019 and it is issuing prospectus in 2020, 21, 22. More than 2 years have passed. Therefore, you don't need to comply with point number 1, 2, and 3. Anyone can quickly write in the chat box what were these point number 1, 2, and 3 without cheating. We have not even revised. How can we answer that? So you can refer to the book. अभी तो करा है एकदम से पूरी ना learn हो जाएगा ना, but हम revise करके learn कर सकते हैं. So point number 1, MOA AOA condition, constitution, enactments and provisions, and address in India. If it is not in English, then certified copy is required. These 3 things are not. Okay. Jandra and Rajveer has written. Any other question that we have not covered over here? Do we need to give application forms also under section 33? Yes. Section 40 also needs to be given. Yes. Registration of prospectus also we have done. So registration of prospectus, I told you, which has to be signed by chairperson and directors, and on the face it shall be written compliance of 388. What is 388? What does section 388 tells you? Expert's opinion has to be taken, written consent, not withdrawn, a statement that he has given the written consent and it is not withdrawn shall be included. Tino points aapko learn. And the last one, following documents to be attached. How are we going to learn them? Just try to learn these circles point: expert's consent, copy of contracts of managing director or manager, other material contracts which are not for the business within 2 years, underwriting agreements, and power of attorney. All these 5 documents along has to be attached with the prospectus. Beta, Asta Sethi company is incorporated outside India and they have a place of business in India, then it becomes a foreign company, na? So it is already incorporated. How can you say not? So in India now you're trying to raise money. That is what it is trying to tell. Ideas I'm with you. 91. This is the penalty. So 34 deals with the misstatements, civil liability, criminal liability will apply mutatis mutandis to the foreign companies. Punishment under 392 we have already done. 1 lakh to 3 lakhs, 50,000 additional fine. So for these sections, you can simply refer to those short notes. 393, very important. Any failure to comply with the provisions of chapter 22 of the Companies Act will not affect the validity of any contract. Remember, I told you, will your contract become void? No. Any transactions that the company has entered or the liability to be sued will still remain live. Company will not be bringing any suit or claiming set-off or making any counterclaim for any transactions which the company has done. So if you have not complied, you have contravened, then 392 is applicable. For failure to comply, not to affect the validity of contract means this is not going to affect the contracts that you have entered with the company. You have done the question also in the previous class with me, so refer to that. Any improper use or description of foreign companies that you're trying to make, then what will happen, or the rules, the person shall, unless registered, will be liable for investigation under section 210. Now, section 210 is again not part of your syllabus for the Companies Act. We have not covered. We have only covered till chapter 10, that is audit and auditors. But 210 talks about the investigation. Strict actions will be taken if you're trying to fraudulently use the name of the foreign company. Actually, you're an Indian company only, but you have displayed outside the display of name that I'm a foreign company and I'm incorporated in USA. Jhoot bol rahe ho, you fraud kar. You're not carrying the business the way it has been. Investigation will be taken against you under section 210. Again, I have a question related to this. I will show. Central government can exempt certain foreign companies or the body corporates from what? For the offering of securities under the special economic zones. We have already read this point also. For any IFSC units which are set up in special economic zones, they will not be considered as foreign companies. So since we have time, so well in time, we have completed the syllabus. So well done. But still your test is left. We are quickly going to do these multiple choice questions. I request all of you to read the question very carefully and give me the correct answer without referring to your answer sheets. First of all, if they have opened the office in Kolkata, West Bengal, where they have to give the documents? To Kolkata, ROC or anybody else? Do we need to give? Very good, Delhi ROC. Excellent. Even if I try to confuse you, you don't get confused. That's great. So within how many days, children? 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, 45 days. Tell me. With Delhi ROC, within 30 days, ma'am. C is the correct answer. Well done for the few. Mohammed Farhan, you want to say something? You can write in the chat box. So let me show you the correct answer also. After the descriptive questions, they have given you the correct answer. So within 30 days, they have established the principal reserves. So see how beautifully study material has given you n number of questions and they have given you beautifully drafted answers also. So after your chapter is done with me, your homework will be, after doing the chapter, read all the MCQs, take a pencil in hand and try to take the correct answers. First, apply your brain first before going to the answers. We have already given you the answers. Why are you worried? But try to test your knowledge, okay? Don't cheat the answers. And how you have to do the MCQs, because you will be getting MCQs in paper. So for the MCQs, a thumb rule that you all have to remember is, if I have read a question, before reading the options, try to think what could be the answer, what could be exactly the examiner is trying to ask in this. So apply your brain before reading the options, because generally when we read the options, we have studied so much by the time we go for the exam. Now you have just done foreign companies, so you remember 30 days, because 60 days तो सिर्फ वो उसकी बात कर रहा था, annual return, है ना? उसके अलावा तो कभी बात ही नहीं करी. So we remember freshly that it was 30 days only. It is not even written 60 days only. But when you go for your final exam, you have done so many days, 45, 30, 60, so many. So just read the question, close your eyes and try to recall what you have studied in foreign companies. उसमें था क्या? जब आप वो पढ़कर आंसर मन में सोचकर ऑप्शंस पढ़ते हो ना, things become you get a wider picture. You are at least 99% sure of your choice that you will pick up, even if you're picking it up right. Okay. So always remember this step for MCQs. Second thing I want to tell you, for the descriptive questions, study has given you all the answers. But my request to all of you, please try to frame the answers the way we have discussed in the class today. Proper provisionings. If you don't remember the section as per the provisions of Companies Act, but your CNT students try to remember. I told you for foreign companies, at least you'll have to remember the sections. Okay. And after that, you will write facts of the case and conclusion you will give you. Clear? Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Harleen, ma'am. How are you?
Good, ma'am. Good to see you.
Good evening, students. So, ma'am, are you done with the class?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just going through their chat box if they have any queries. Shagufta is asking, ma'am, मुझे बताइए कि आंसर कैसे लिखते हैं. Again, the same thing. Just discussing about that, ma'am. You also just give them some tips related to answers that they want. Answer कैसे लिखते हैं? They're asking. So
Okay, I will take up that. But once you are done, I have something for them.
Okay. Asta Sethi is asking why it is written will or will not establish a place of business in India, incorporated or to be incorporated. So Asta Sethi, when we started with this chapter, I told you that there is a difference between a word body corporate and the word foreign company. So body corporate is a wider term which includes a company incorporated in India and outside India also. But the same company which is incorporated outside India, the moment it has a place of business in India and it is doing a business activity, it becomes a foreign company. So which point that you have referred, he is referring to both the things, body corporate as well as foreign company. Okay. So yes, ma'am, you want to take questions with them?
Yeah, before taking up the questions, students, I think you must have taken up the amendment also, respective amendment in this chapter. Chalo, let's go. So, there is one amendment in this chapter which is applicable for you. Very minor thing. किसने अभी तक आरसीपी देखा है अपना? मेरे प्यारे प्यारे बच्चों, एक ही अमेंडमेंट आप लोगों के लिए एप्लीकेबल है, जो हो सकता है मैम ने आपको ये बिना कहे कि अमेंडमेंट है आपको करवा भी दी और आप लोगों को पता भी ना चला. बट क्योंकि बिकॉज वी हैव डन इट, we have separately given it in our RTP. So I will just take you through it once in case a question deliberately comes on that provision so that you are able to take the bull by its horn. Just sharing my screen. Ma'am, I think it's visible to the kids.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, no, it's visible.
I have to go to. Okay. So this is the same amendment. And okay. So this is the amendment that has come in two rules. One is Rule 3 and the other is your Rule 8. It's a very small amendment and I will tell you how to read amendments. We are writing that certain amendments have come for the students and then we have given, trying to collapse it. Wait a moment, beta. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
So if we see that via the company's registration of foreign companies amendment rules 2024, an amendment has come. The original company's registration of foreign company rules 2014. So let me just give you a brief background because I saw that when ma'am started the session, she started with your revision part only. So that you have done to a large extent. Let's read this statement. आप जैसे जैसे और अपना final में आएंगे, you will understand that how to read it. When the Companies Act was formed, it consists of 470 sections. And if we see the earlier act, The 1956 Act, the Companies Act 1956, it was somewhere like 600 sections, Harleen ma'am, 600 plus? If
Yes,
I'm not
ma'am, yes.
wrong.
More
So,
than that, yes.
most of the things, yes, I think 620 or 614, I don't remember right now, but 600 plus sections were there. So we have the, I should say the regulators reduced it to 470, but what they did, they gave the powers to the MCA through rules. And that's why you would be seeing everywhere that you have, whenever you are doing something, reading a law, reading an act, and then suddenly it says, as may be prescribed. So they gave certain rules in alignment for those sections. And those rules generally came in the year 2014. If we see the Companies Act 2013, but by the time it fully became operational, 2014 had come. So generally, all the rules that are there are with the name of the chapter and rules 2014. Like in this, the company's registration of foreign companies, rules 2014. Now, if an amendment is coming to these rules, so they will be writing Companies Registration of Foreign Companies Amendment Rules 2024, which will be affecting the original 2014. It is not relevant from the exam point of view, ये जो मैंने अभी आपको सारा बताया. It's relevant from the point of view of how to understand, how to read the law. Now,
Interpret,
in this, what we are, sorry?
Yes, how to interpret the law. They'll be coming up with this next chapter.
Because you will be seeing it again and again. So we are saying amendment क्या है? What is the amendment right now? In the company's registration of companies rules 2014, वो कह रहे हैं पुराना जो original rule था उसमें हम एक amendment कर रहे हैं. We are doing an amendment in the original rules, the 2014 rules. And what is that? In rule 3, in sub rule 3, rule 3 के sub rule 3 में, for the word registrar, the words registrar, comma, central registration center shall be substituted. Now it will become very difficult for the students to be like that, how we will look at it. So in the RTP, we give a point that for this first point, you can see like this. For the first point, the amendment, we have given the original content on which will be on page number 11.6 of the study material. So I have opened it for you guys. Page 11.6. And if I see it further, says form, procedure, and time for making application and submission of prescribed documents. So in this, if we try to find form, procedure, and time for making application and submission of prescribed documents. Now, I said that in this amendment, the word registrar, originally the word was registrar, has been replaced. So, this word, I think you can see the highlighting, that registrar, this word will be substituted with the words registrar, central registration center. Shall be filed with the registrar, comma, central registration center. So they have added few more words. If you see, they have just clarified in this. As such, it is not affecting directly on understanding of the section. I hope it's clear. Anyone respond? I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am. I think students are writing.
Yes, they are right. Okay. Thank you. And the next amendment is, now suppose, how will you write it? If it comes in the exam, there is no need for you to write that as an amendment has come in rule 3, this and that. The way you would have been writing the answer to this question, supposedly they would have asked that what is the form and procedure for time for making application submission of the prescribed documents. Then what the answer would be? According to the company's registration foreign rules, company's registration of foreign companies rules 2014, if you remember, that's okay. Or according to the relevant rules, the required information shall be filed with the registrar, comma, central registration. I think sent word. Oh, creating a mess here. Wait. So companies, registrar, central registration center. Again, you would be continuing the line. Within 30 days of establishments of this place of business in India. So this is how you read the amendment, and this is how you blend it in the sentence that it is required to be put. Now, the second amendment that is for you is this one. In Rule 8, in Sub-Rule 1, so basically they are saying Rule 8, Sub-Rule in the comma 1, the following provisions shall be inserted. So they are inserting a new provision in the earlier Rule 8.1, and that they have given, provided that the documents of registration by a foreign company referred to in Rule 3.3 shall be delivered in Form FC1 to the registrar, Central Registration Center. See, in this also they have added, they are not using the word registrar, they are using the word registrar, comma, Central Registration Center. So for this, how will I read it and how will I know as a student that where to put it? So I have written for point number 2, page 11.7. So this amendment will be added or inserted in page number 11.7. So if I go to the next page, I have to see that where it is to be added. So it is to be added if, see, Rule 8 of the company's registration of foreign company rules 2014. So this is with footnote 5 in my book. Where is Rule 5? So this all is Rule 5. So you have to, they are saying it is added. It is not replacing anything. So after this New Delhi, you have to add another provision, and you will be simply writing it as provided that the documents of registration, this Central Registration Center. I hope it's clear to you. Any questions here?
Yes, students, do you have any questions?
So either all clear, I think, or not. Yeah. No, ma'am. What is not clear? Tell me.
I think they said no, ma'am, no questions.
Okay. Very relevant question. They are asking, ma'am, clear तो है, but exam में लिखेंगे कैसे? Okay, someone is saying all clear. So आप इसको लिखोगे कैसे? How will you write it? Let me share my screen again. So we are dealing with, what is this section? This is section 380. We are dealing with section 380, documents, etc., to be delivered to the registrar by foreign companies. In this, ma'am must have told you about the various documents that are to be delivered with registrar for registration of the company, and that you read all these things. Now, when you were reading at that time, you come further and then you see that in the first point, you read about that every foreign company has to deliver these within days of establishment of company. Reading further, they said that the name and address of this, the full address, this. And then what happened? You suddenly started reading about the form and procedure and time for making application and submission of the prescribed documents. So the above documents that you read above, like from A to G, what is the time period and form of making application and submission of those documents? If a question comes that within how many days you have to submit the documents to the registrar, okay, then in this, how will you be writing? Or if I have to make another question, what all documents are required to be submitted and what is the time period? So you will write the above documents A to G, and then you will be saying that these documents have to be filed with registrar, comma, central registration, what? Central Registration Center within 30 days of the establishment of its place of business in India. This is how we write it. Did you get it? Is it clear now?
Students, please reply.
Okay, so they are writing that it's clear now. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Many a times, it's an addition for you guys. Many a times the amendment is not as such जिससे आपकी understanding पे कोई फर्क है. It will not impact your understanding whether as a intermediate student I'm saying whether the word registrar is given or registrar comma registration center. But if in this attempt or 2 to 3 attempts from now this question will come, the papers, the person who may have made the paper want to check whether you have read the latest amendment or not. Okay. Whether your marks will be deducted for the same is another question. The point is it shows that you were aware of the latest thing that has been given to you by the institute. So, ma'am, I prepared some questions for them, but it's already 8:33 right now.
Yes, ma'am, even I'm going to take one question with them in the next class before starting LLP because even I had few questions. So I think before starting LLP, I'll take one question as a test for foreign companies and then we'll start again.
Okay, ma'am, one doubt, our revisionary classes starting from 8 July. Timings will clash with live classes till 20th of July. Yeah, it will. Because if we don't start the revisionary classes by then the students who may not have cleared the examinations will not get ample time for their preparations. And since this current batch is aiming for September 2025, so the students who are already doing their current batch, this batch, they are already getting everything in detail. Okay. So with this, ma'am, I think I'm done.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. You always add something more knowledgeable for us also and for the students also. Thank you so much.
My work. That's my work.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, thank you, students. Thank you, Soumya. Soumya has written very nice lines. She has said, ma'am, your positive vibes have made the subject easy. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you, students. I think, ma'am, I'm also done with the topic, and on the next class, I'm going to take the test before starting. Yes, we are done. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.